Good morning. Welcome to New Thought Unity Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. That was Work Song in celebration of Labor Day. Happy Labor Day by Nat Adderley. And we move forward. Super Summer clearance continues at Angel's Wings Resale Shop. All summer clothes are $1 per item. All summer tops, bottoms, shoes, and those summer scarves are $1 per item. The racks are overflowing with bargains. Stop in at Angel's Wings after service today from noon to 3.
Once again, we are collecting back-to-school things for Lighthouse Youth and Family, and you can drop your items off either here or in Friendship Hall, because today is the last day for that.
Okay, meditation with energy work. Beginning today, Sunday meditation with energy work will meet every Sunday after service in the chapel.
Monday, September 2nd, the center will be closed in observance of Labor Day.
A Course in Miracles. The next class will be on Tuesday, September 3rd at 6:30 in person here at NTUC. It will be facilitated by Susan Bartels. $5 love offering is suggested. All are welcome, and there is a note here that there will be no class on September 10th.
Circle of Light Spirituality Soul Study. Our spirituality study group, the Circle of Light, will meet on Wednesday, September 4th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in Fellowship Hall. This week's topic will be devotional meditation and divine communion. Everyone is invited.
Mastermind with Alice Frazier meets on Wednesday, September the 4th in Classroom A at 6:30 p.m. Learn the Mastermind principle of focusing on the power of thought for the specific purpose of establishing a direct connection with God. Alice will show you how. There is a $20 love offering suggestion, and no one is turned away.
Karaoke with Kim. Karaoke with Kim will take place on September the 6th, beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. in Friendship Hall. There's a $5 love offering, and leave a little something in the tip jar.
One-day spiritual retreat, a day of mindfulness and celebration on September 14th from 10 o'clock a.m. to 4 o'clock p.m. at the center. This one-day spiritual retreat is designed to deepen your spiritual practice. A $30 love offering is recommended. A vegan lunch can be purchased separately for $5, co-facilitated by David McClanahan and Barb Meyer, and sign-up sheets are in Friendship Hall.
Beautify Unity. Join your friends on Saturday, September 28th, from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon to help spruce up the center as we prepare for the upcoming 125th anniversary celebration. Sign-up sheets are in Friendship Hall.
Speaking of the 125th anniversary celebration, New Thought Unity Center is celebrating 125 years serving the spiritual community of Cincinnati. A celebration dinner and dance will be held at the Fort Mitchell Country Club on Saturday, October 19th. Be sure to join your friends, old and new, for an evening of celebration. All tickets must be purchased in advance. See Linda Miller to purchase your tickets.
She's sitting in the back, so don't miss her. The celebration weekend continues on Sunday, October 20th at New Thought Unity Center. Reverends Doris and Reverend Pat are planning to celebrate NTUC's 125th anniversary with us. They will be at the service that morning. More events are being planned for a festive, fun-filled anniversary celebration weekend.
The second annual Holiday Bazaar and Wellness Fair returns to NTUC on Saturday, December 7th from 10 to 4. We are currently seeking vendors, healers, food and beverages vendors, card readers, woodworkers, crafts, coaches, and any other talent you care to share. $40 per space. Deadline to register is October the 15th.
It's the first Sunday of the month. Is anyone celebrating a birthday or anniversary during the month of September? If so, please stand so we can bless you.
And those at home, we are blessing you also.
Yes.
God is blessing you now. God is blessing you now. God is blessing you. You are wonderful. God is blessing you now.
Happy birthday, happy anniversary.
And join us in Friendship Hall after the service for coffee, tea, and light snacks. And if you need a refresher or missed something on the announcements, please check into the website, the email blast, or Facebook event page for detailed information. See you downstairs.
You got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum, bring gloom down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium, liable to walk upon the scene. To illustrate his last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they do just when everything looked so dark? And they said we better accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. You gotta accentuate the positive, eliminate the
the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. You got to spread joy up to the maximum. Bring down to the minimum. Have faith or pandemonium. Liable to walk upon the scene.
Now we all know the history from the Fillmores down to New Thought Unity. What did they say that can set our spirits free? They said we better
accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative. Latch on to the affirmative. Don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between. No, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Welcome back, Reverend George Whitton.
and Nancy.
Always a pleasure to return to the New Thought Unity Center where I have my spiritual roots here. So good to see all of you this morning. Our affirmation for today is, as I change my thinking, I change my life. As I change my thinking, I change my life. Let's affirm that together. As I change my thinking, I change my life. And just for a moment, let's just take those thoughts down into our heart space. But this morning we're exploring happiness. Dennis Waitley has said, happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. For happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love, grace, and gratitude. So this morning we have an opportunity. We may have had a tendency to put off our happiness, to limit our expectation of happiness by that little word, when. This kind of thinking says, I'll be happy in the future. It doesn't promote the idea of being happy right now. So today, let's choose happiness now and create a blessing for ourselves and for those around us. Today, let's choose happiness now. And amen. And let's affirm together the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. And the presence of God watches over me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well.
And now it's time for our congregational song, Divine Spirit in Me. So won't you please stand and join us. One presence, one power, divine spirit in me. One presence, one power, divine spirit in me. Thought to prayer, prayer to action, divine purpose, divine attraction.
it's time to meet and greet. Say hello to your neighbor, make a new friend with a handshake, a hug, or a simple namaste. And if you're watching online, let us know who you are and where you're watching from, and we'll say hello to you later in the service. Thanks for being with us this morning.
They enjoyed your solo. Yes, it did. Yes, it did.
I feel a good vibration, healing and transformation all through this congregation. Must be unity. The experience is our mission. Universal wholeness is our vision. I am who I am. It's my decision. Must be unity. NTUC unity.
We can continue this fellowship after service down in Friendship Hall, but for now, if you would, have a seat and say with me our mission and vision statements. Our mission statement is, in God, we are an inclusive, abundant community, experiencing love, transforming lives, and serving others. And our vision statement is, we celebrate a world of harmony and oneness, a place of loving stewardship, sacred connections, and pure joy, where all are welcomed with honor and respect. And what we'd like you to know more than anything about New Thought Unity Center is that wherever you are on your spiritual path, whoever you are, whatever you look like, whoever you love, or however you identify, you are welcome here, and we're grateful that you've chosen to be with us this morning. If this is your first time at New Thought Unity Center, there is in the back corner a newcomer's table. On it, there are packets of information that tell you a little bit about us. And after the service, Regina will be back there, and she can answer any questions that you may have. And if you'd like a tour, she can provide that as well. So again, thank you so much for being with us this morning. And now we're going to settle in for meditation.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your
settle back into our chairs and just allow your chair to fully support you. And as we calm our minds, we take a deep breath and just allow the presence of God to rise up from within and wash over you. It's been said that happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. For happiness is the spiritual experience of living every minute with love and grace and gratitude. Far too many of us say, I'll be happy. I'll be happy when? When my bills are paid, when the children are grown, when I have a better job, when I can afford to travel, or when my health is better. We may have a tendency to put off our happiness, to limit our expectation. Let's reverse this trend. It's not about being happy all the time or being sure of all of our choices. It's about knowing that life is precious, even when it's tough sometimes. Now is the time to decide to be happy, to look at our lives and see how much there is to fill us with feelings of joy, happiness, and appreciation. So let's just take a moment in the silence, knowing that there is something in us that yearns to express our happiness. For a few minutes now, in the silence. The place to be happy is right here, right where we are, in the circumstances in which we find ourselves. The time to be happy is now. For we know that happiness is not dependent on outer circumstances or conditions. It's not dependent on other persons. Happiness is a state of mind and heart that we can feel and express right here and right now. A feeling of happiness always communicates itself to others, for when we are happy, we add to the happiness of those around us. And it blesses us in this now moment. And to that we need only say thank you, and amen.
Every one of
meet you there per our conversation. I hope I didn't ruin your whole vacation. Well, you never know how far from home you're feeling till you watch the shadows cross the ceiling. Well, I don't know, but I can see it snowing in your car. The windows are wide open. Come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home. Valentines break hearts and minds at random. That old Easter egg ain't got a leg to stand on. Well, I can see that you can't win for trying. And New Year's Eve is bound to leave you crying. Come on home. Come on home. You don't have to be alone. Just come on home. The moon and stars hang out in bars just talking. I still love that picture of us walking, just like that old house we thought was haunted. Summer's end came faster than we wanted. Come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Come on home. Come on home. No, you don't have to be alone. Just come on home.
Thumbs up, Jenny. Well, good morning. As we say in Burlington, how you all doing? Doing good. Well, something really happened unusual this week at our house. We didn't order one thing online. Pretty amazing. So much so that on Friday, the doorbell rang. I went to see who it was. It was the UPS driver. He said, I haven't been here all week and I got to worrying about you guys. Just checking to make sure you're okay. Well, today I want to talk about being happy. I'm going to make an assumption. Now, sometimes when you assume something, you can get into trouble. Have you ever thought about dissecting the word assume? Ass out of you and me. Are you allowed to say that in church? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, I thought I'd take a risk making an assumption, and I'm just assuming that everyone here today would like to create a happy life or add to the happiness that they're already experiencing in their life. Now, if that doesn't interest you about being happy, well, I hope you brought a book, because that's what we're going to talk about today. Mark Aurelius, a Stoic philosopher, you've probably heard of him, had this to say: very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within yourself. It's all in your way of thinking. Now, most everyone knows the line by Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence. He said there that everyone is entitled to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Did he not? And we've been conditioned to believe that happiness is something for us to pursue. We keep grabbing at things we think that's going to make us happy. So what did Thomas Jefferson really mean by the pursuit of happiness? The word pursue in 1776 did not mean to chase after. It meant to practice the activity and to make a regular habit of it. Thomas Jefferson was saying that we had the right to practice happiness, a little different than chasing it. And how do we do that? Well, psychologists tell us that at least 90% of all behavior is habitual. We are creatures of habit. So doesn't it make sense then that to become happier, we need to look at our habits? A psychology researcher has defined happiness as the experience of joy, contentment, or positive well-being, combined with a sense of one's life, that one's life is good, meaningful, and worthwhile. And what I believe is that each of us can take actions that will develop habits that will increase our experience of happiness. So this morning, I'm going to be talking about avoiding unhappy habits and making positive choices that lead to habits that are more happy. So I want to start by asking you a question. Does your life have to be perfect in order for you to be happy? Well, if it does, you might be waiting a long, long time. And why is that? Well, because we are spiritual beings, that's what we teach here at Unity, but we're also having a human experience. And as far as I can tell, our human experience is not perfect. Those of us who have a perfectionist mindset may never see ourselves as good enough. So I think it's important for us to remember that we are created in the image and likeness of goodness, in the image and likeness of the divine. And that makes us plenty perfect enough right where we are. Let's talk just briefly about attitude. I can't speak for you, but I like to maintain and keep a positive attitude when I can. Yet there are times when life can be challenging. Have you noticed that? Sometimes life is challenging. And during those times of challenge, it's difficult to keep a positive attitude. So, sometimes we find ourselves having to deal with negative situations, with challenging situations, maybe negative family members or negative coworkers. So yes, life can get difficult and filled with negativity. It just can. And yet, even when things get difficult, there are plenty of things that we can be grateful for. Years ago, I stopped by the Waffle House for breakfast. Anybody been to the Waffle House for breakfast? A couple of brave souls. Okay. Well, I went to the Waffle House, and when the waitress came over, I said, "Good morning, how are you doing today?" And she said, kind of with an expression on her face that didn't look very happy, she says, "I can't think of one thing to be happy about." So I said, "Whoa, okay." Well, I paused for a moment, and I said, "Well, I can think of one thing you could be happy about." "Well, what's that?" And I said, "You woke up. You woke up." So even when life gets tough, it helps to remember that we have been given a terrific gift that we've already received. We have been given the gift of participating in life. What a gift. And as I participate in life, here's something that I have to be on guard for. What kind of environment am I placing myself in? Is it positive? Is it negative? And if I'm not careful, I can find myself creating a negative environment right in my own home. How? Well, sometimes Nancy might tell you that I watch too much TV, and especially too much news. It can be like watching hours and hours of negativity. What we watch and what we listen to can have a big effect, a really big effect, on how we feel and how we think. Watching a lot of negativity, well, it can pull us down. Watching too much negativity can create a negative impact on how we see our world. So if we want to be having a positive life experience, we shouldn't be fishing in a pool of negativity. It just doesn't work. We're going to look and not find it there. We need to be casting our line, using the fishing metaphor here, into a pool of positivity. We need to be placing ourselves in an environment that offers positive support. And by golly, that's why I like coming to Unity. Unity is where we can get nurtured and supported along our journey. It changes the way we see the world. Change your thinking, change your life. Here's a habit. We're all creatures of habit that we need to be aware of. And that is getting stuck and looking at our painful past or looking ahead to our fearful future. Spending time reliving old painful memories, looking at conflicts or missed opportunities can pull us emotionally down. Spending time thinking about a fearful future, about imagining how things could go wrong, well, that can create unhappy scenarios in our minds that play over and over in our heads. It doesn't serve us. So the question is, what can we do? Well, how about focusing on this now moment? We call it the precious present. If we find ourselves focused on painful events of the past or fretting about what might happen in the future, well, we need to stop, pause, take a deep breath maybe, take a moment to recenter. Doing so helps us in this now moment. And when we're living in the now moment, we'll not be living in a painful past or a fearful future. Now, the last topic I want to talk about with you folks is about comparing. You ever find yourself comparing your life to someone else's life? Well, I've got some real solid spiritual advice for you this morning. If you find yourself comparing your life to someone else's life, and you might want to write this down, stop it. Don't do that. It doesn't serve us to compare our life to the life of someone else. We might find ourselves comparing our car to our friend's car, or our house to our cousin's house, or our job to our brother's job. And ladies, maybe your shoes to your friend's shoes. Don't do it. If we really want to do some comparing, I have an idea for you. How about comparing yourself with yourself? How's that? Well, for instance, this morning you've sought out and traveled to a positive environment that supports who you are and just the way you are. By being here, you're learning that you are a deserving child of God, that you've not been created in original sin, but rather you've been created in original goodness. That's who you are. You're learning there's a creative essence at your core that you can call on to assist you in creating the life that you desire. Just by showing up in this environment, you are learning to expect and express appreciations, to expect kindness and show that kindness toward others. And don't forget to show that kindness toward yourself. So I acknowledge each one of you for being here this morning and taking the time to enhance the quality of your life. On our human journey, the truth is we're evolving and changing all the time. It's just what the journey is about. And I believe we're always changing for the better. How we think about our others and how we treat others has a big effect on how we think about ourselves and how we treat ourselves. The more we judge and criticize other people, the more we're going to tend to judge and criticize ourselves. You are a child of God, a child of goodness. And although it may be hard to see sometimes, so's everyone else. And that's the only comparing we need to be doing. Now, in doing some research for this talk on avoiding unhappy habits, I ran across an article that relates, I think, to today's message. It was written by Steve Jobs. How many people know who Steve Jobs was? Yeah. Well, for those of you who don't, Steve Jobs was one of the co-founders of Apple Computer, who eventually became a billionaire. Steve Jobs was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in 2003. And he went through a liver transplant in 2009. But his health continued to decline, and he made his transition in 2011. He left these parting words, which I believe relate to today's lesson. And he said this: I have reached the pinnacle of success in business. In other people's eyes, my life is a success. However, aside from work, I've had little joy. At the end of the day, wealth is just a fact that I've gotten used to. Right now, lying on my hospital bed, reminiscing about my life, I realize that all the recognition and wealth that I took so much pride in has faded and become meaningless in the face of imminent death. You can hire someone to drive your car or make money for you, but you can't hire someone to stand sick and die for you. Material things can be lost and found again, but there is one thing that can never be found when it's lost: life. Whatever stage of life you're currently at, in time, we will face the day the curtain closes. Love your family, your spouse, your children, and friends. Treat them right. Cherish them. As we get older and wiser, we slowly realize that wearing a $300 or a $30 watch both give the same time. Whether we have $300 or $30 in our wallet or purse, the amount inside is the same. Whether we drive a $150,000 car or a $30,000 car, the road and the distance are the same, and we reach the same destination. Whether we drink a $1,000 or a $10 bottle of wine, the hangover is the same. Whether the house we live in is 1,000 square feet or 10,000 square feet, loneliness is the same. You will realize that your true inner happiness does not come from material things of this world. Whether you travel first class or economy class, if the plane crashes, you go down with it. Therefore, I hope you realize when you have friends, brothers, and sisters with whom you discuss, laugh, talk, sing, and talk about north, south, east, or heaven and earth. This is the real happiness, an undisputable fact of life. Don't raise your children to be rich. Educate them to be happy. And when they grow up, they'll know the value of things and not the price. These words from Steve Jobs. And as Marcus Aurelius pointed out to us, very little is needed to make a happy life. It's all within yourself and your way of thinking. I love you and I bless you. Always a pleasure to be here at the New Thought Unity Center. Thanks for being here. God bless. Thank you.
miracles all around, and each day unfolds just as it should. When I'm focusing on the good, life is filled with opportunity. I wonder what good is coming to me. Ooh, I claim a blessing. Yeah, 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 yeah. I claim a blessing. Ooh, I claim a blessing. Now, 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 now. I claim a blessing. Ooh, I claim a blessing. I claim it. I claim a blessing. I claim it. Thank you, and please be seated. It's that time in our service where we take our tithes and our offerings in our hands and we say our offertory blessings. So if you'll say that with me as our volunteers come down. Divine love, moving in and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give and all that I receive. And if you're a consistent giver, we ask that you place your consistent giving card in the basket. And for those of you who prefer to use your phone, there's a QR code in the pews that you can use on the back of the clipboard here. Also, there are tithing envelopes in the back of the pews if you prefer to write a check or give cash. And there's a credit card machine in the back that you can use, or you can give online for those of you at home. Don't forget, your blessings are appreciated. Go to ntunity.org and push the donate button. Thank you. Also, our chaplain today is Maria, and she'll be over at the prayer shop after service to pray with you. And we as chaplains hold sacred space before, during, and after services. And there are chaplains at home holding sacred space right along with us. We have prayer request cards in the back of the pews also. If you like to write down a prayer request, you know, when you sing and you're happy and you're claiming a blessing, you get a little winded, so just bear with me. So fill out a prayer request card, and you can place it in the prayer box in the back, and we have a couple downstairs also. So just know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, you Thought Unity Center is happy to pray with you. Our chaplains are happy to pray with you. So, see a chaplain after service. And if we don't have on a shawl like myself and Michael, we're still open to praying with you. Reverend George.
Well, loving Spirit, we are grateful to be here this morning, grateful to be a part of this gathering of your loved beings that are here to celebrate life itself. And so for the gifts that are here that go out and reach forth for this spiritual community and the greater community as well, we are grateful for these gifts and grateful for our happy essence that is at our core. For these gifts and for everything present, we say thank you and amen.
So we've got a bunch of folks online that have said hello this morning. Alice Frazier says, good morning. Yay, it's my birthday month. Happy September celebrations to all. Penryn Craig says, happy September from Prospect, Kentucky. Serenity Overstreet says, good morning, Unity. Hope everyone has an amazing day. Randy Maley says, good morning from Bolivar, Ohio. Joe Keaveney sends blessings to everyone. And Joe Wolobeck says, good morning from Teresa and Joe in Rockford, Illinois. So thank you all for being with us online as well. It's good to hear from you. We have lots of folks to thank this morning. Thank you, George. Always a pleasure to have you here. Thanks to the folks in the booth making us seen and heard. Terry and Mason are back there this morning. Thank you to Joyce, our photographer. And thank you to the band, Michael, Randy, and Brian. And to my fellow songstresses, Jenny Leah, Althea, and I'm Alice. Next week, Kim Ballou will be back with us. Look forward to that. You good? Okay, let's make a circle. I think we can do it pretty easily this week. Grab a hand, stretch it out. Come on, we can do this. Stretch. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Keep going. No, we got it. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes.
We did it. Thank
All
you.
right.
Looks good.
And our prayer of alignment is, we are
We are
light.
light.
We illuminate the world. We are love. We love unconditionally. We are power. We are the divine in action. We are presence. We are awake to our divine identity. God is, I am, we are, and all is well.
Peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God our Creator, children all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my song of love. Today, each moment, and with each moment, peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it When I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. When I get out of bed, I claim a blessing. Yeah, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing. Before I even lift my head, I claim a blessing. Ooh, I claim a blessing. I claim a blessing.
Find miles to the higher ground, knowing miracles are all around. Stay opposed to the actions, but I'm focusing yes on the good. Life is filled with opportunities, and I want what good is coming to me.
Next time. I almost went up a step. That was just to see you guys' faces. In the water.